Good morning, everybody. We're going to take a look at the Jamstack weather model today. And yes, it came out with its April forecast. So we're going to take a look at that and what that entails for spring, the rest of spring, and summer and fall. And basically, the summation of it is El Nino, here we come. And so that's really the summation of it. But let's take a look at the El Nino, what it's predicted to be by fall. Let me make sure I have my volume. Okay, can you guys hear me? Okay, good. So September through November, here we have this El Nino come on, and it's just huge. Look at that. Not only is it huge, guys, but it's a Modique El Nino, which means that the warmest waters are centered in the Central Pacific, or at least trying to get that way. They're kind of east based a little bit, but they're kind of central based. They're a little bit mixed in between. But I think that if we can get this to be a central based El Nino, we have a potential for a pretty snowy and cold winter. Now, I know I say that every year, but little disclaimer, I'm a weather fanatic. What can I say? But I'm trying to give you guys the science and the facts behind behind why it might happen. But that is fact. If you do get a Modique El Nino, you tend to get colder and snowier winters. For example, the winter of 2009 and 10 was a Modique El Nino, and we saw a very bad winter along the East Coast that year. In New York City and Boston, Cleveland. Well, Cleveland, yeah, but more so towards places like the Mid Atlantic where you had snowmageddon. Um, let's take a look at our. Let's take a look at May and July and the temperatures for the rest of spring. Um, so, again, we've had a record start to the tornado season, the severe thunderstorm season. We've had a little bit of a lull. Things have got a little bit quieter, but the rest of spring looks like this in terms of at least May through July, late spring into early summer, I should say. So this isn't the highlight of spring. It's more so towards the later spring into the summer, but we still have that look. We still have cold air to the north and warm air towards the south, and that's going to create some instability there in the Midwest. So I would not be surprised if we're still in for a very long severe weather season, and I predicted that back in February. So give credit where credit's due and all that. But let's take a look at our precip for spring and see if that correlates with what I think is going to happen. And again, a lot of severe weather. It looks like that this could be any precip, of course, but it looks like to me this would be severe weather here in the Mississippi River Valley and places like Wisconsin, um, and places like Minnesota and eastern Dakotas. So there's just a lot of precip. If you can see it, it might be a little too small, but a lot of precip here along right east in the Mississippi River Valley. So I think this will be a southeastern severe weather season this year, like I predicted. Um, let's take a look at, let's go through June through August precip. So we do get a little bit of a dry summer. Thank God. I like dry summers. I like hot and dry summers. Let's take a look at the surface air temperature anomaly for summer. Um, and let's take a look. So again, a very hot summer, especially for Texas area, um, and for the east northeast as well. But overall, it's looking like a hot summer throughout the country. Um, and so let's take a look then at the precip. We just did that. Let's take a look at. So again, just taking a look at that, a very hot summer indeed, and we'll have to see what happens with that forecast. Though I can't wait till summer though. One of my favorite seasons of the year. Let's take a look. And again, this is pretty crazy when we head into September, October, November. We just have a lot of hot temperatures there over the North Pole, over the equatorial Pacific due to that El Nino. A lot of melting of the ice cap in the north. So give or take what you want with that. But and again, we just have a lot going on in terms of because we had a La Nina last year and now we have an El Nino, and they're both pretty intense. We had that strong La Nina, now we have a strong El Nino. So it's going to be a lot of rapid intensification and change of weather patterns because when you get that drastic of a change in temperature, whether it be in the atmosphere or in the water, which eventually relates to the atmosphere, you're going to see some chain reaction in the atmosphere going to set off. So there's going to be some type of severe weather, and that could be a result of a result of that could be the severe weather season that we're currently seeing right now. But the point is, when you get a La Nina that is that strong, and then you get an El Nino that is equally as strong, you're tipping the scales a little bit. So that's a concern for me. Um, let's take a look at our El Nino Mordecai 2-year forecast. That won't work. Let's take a look at our El Nino Mordecai index. So again, we have that Mordecai being set up by winter. So we're getting towards a Mordecai, not a full blown out Mordecai, but it does show actually during January of this year that we will see a full out blown Mordecai, a pretty strong Mordecai at that. So again, that's good signal for a very cold winter. So if you see me drop the title "Cold Winter Ahead," possibly don't be shocked if I do that. Not advertising, just kind of giving you the what the models are showing right now. And let's take a look at our El Nino 2-year forecast. That won't work either. Oh, here's what I wanted to look at. Let's see if I can find the F2SI model. It should be down here. This is just a different form of the, oh, that won't work either. All right, everything's buffering, so I'm just going to give you guys, let's see, the NOAA 8 to 14 day temperature outlook to show you guys that we have a lot of cool weather ahead. But the good news is that even this time of year, when you get cooler weather, you still have a lot of warmth in the because the sun angle is more higher this time of year. So whenever you get even some cooler weather from the north, it's going to have a hard time carrying over and being cold for a long period of time because the sun angle is so high. So it's not going to last, is what I mean. Precip, a lot of precip there in the east, in the Gulf Coast, below normal here in Wisconsin and then the Northwest. And see how we're shifting into the El Nino pattern, guys. Look at that. That's classic El Nino when you get precip all the way from Texas to Florida to the mid-Atlantic, and then you get below normal where we're seeing all that precip there for the La Nina winter. So places like Wisconsin and the Northwest. So we are starting to see the pattern evolve, and it's interesting how the weather works because there is a science behind it. All right, guys, that's it for now. Hope you enjoyed this update. Make sure you stay blessed and make sure you like and share and subscribe to my channel for more long-range weather content.